Brian, can you put that between you and
Yep.
Laurel, and I'll,
Okay, since
Make
it's now 7:01, we'll bring the Mashpee Board of Health to order. Our first order of business this evening will be to review and approve Board of Health public session minutes from June 28th, 2018, and July 12th, 2018. Anybody have any comments on the minutes?
I've submitted my comments and they've been changed, so.
Okay. Yeah, I'm all set with that. Are you?
I'm all set, yep.
Okay.
When you said you submitted them, are these the updated ones? or
Yes,
you?
those are updated
Oh,
ones.
okay, so
Yes.
I can move to approve the public session meeting minutes from July 12th and June 28th, 2018.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Our second item for this evening is expense warrants. Do we have any?
Yep, we got 2 warrants.
It's been a while since we've done
I know. Yeah.
I gotta get my registration in for this soon. Can't believe that's coming up already.
Oh, for MHOA?
HOA, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you that if,
Years flying.
Yeah, if
by.
there's,
I was going to ask you, I need to go to, I need to
yeah, if
update
you need
myself.
RN credits, you can get them.
Ooh, that's nice.
At MHOA.
That's great.
I'm just going to 1 day because I'm leaving to go and hunting on the 15th and 16th, so I'll get 1 day in.
Okay.
But Ronnie's doing 2 days.
Oh, she is?
Yeah,
That's good.
because she needs her soil evaluator credits.
Yeah, I'm behind for the year already.
Oh, you got the other one, sorry. I was wondering where you read it. I'm looking through there like, oh.
Do you have the link? Did that get sent to you? I'll send you the MHOA registration, and they have all the classes that are offered too.
That'd be great. When I was out, I had so many emails, I could have by mistake deleted it, but I don't remember seeing it. I'm trying to catch up. That'd be great. And then you were gonna give me another link too to the vaccine portal or something?
Oh,
right?
Maven.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be great.
All right. So the next item on here is a request for Title V variance for 11 Starboard. Do we have enough time to squeeze that in before our first meeting?
We don't have to cover that. That plan is being revised so that it's not going to be a Title V variance.
Okay.
So I think if you want to just continue that, if they submit something, we can keep it on the agenda, but right now, I don't think it's going to be a, I don't think it's going to be a variance where it has to be reviewed by the board.
Okay.
It may just end up being a setback. They
Okay.
didn't have enough room. They were getting too close to the cellar wall, so I wanted them to go to the board.
Okay.
So I think they're going to end up having enough room.
Oh, that's good. That's always good to hear. Okay.
How would you like to word that? You would move to continue it, or do you want to take it, you think it's going to stay on and
I guess I would continue it for
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, we may as well.
move to continue discussion about the proposed request for Title V variance for 11 Starboard Lane?
I will second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So this will be later.
All right.
And then, oh, that one's kind of,
So
we
number
might have-
4, is that one going to take a little bit?
the soil air unit, or is that,
It shouldn't be too bad, because it's pretty straightforward, I think.
Okay, we'll take that one then. The proposed septic system modification for a soil air unit at the residences at South Cape Queensway. Could you give us a little background on that one, please, Glenn?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Here's paper copies of the submittal,
Okay.
and
I
Mike has
printed
given
out
us
everything.
color copies of the plan,
Keep them anyway.
but I also have 2 copies of the full plan if you want to look at that.
Do you want to look at the
Only
form?
with, only with you.
The big? We can share.
All right. I looked at it online.
Shall I start?
Oh, Glenn's just going to give us a little background quick and then. Mic check. Mic check again.
Oh, that isn't his name?
Okay.
Recently, the Board of Health was made aware that the ruck filter at the condominiums at the residences at South Cape Beach had failed or was not working hydraulically. Continual pumping's been required at great expense to the condo association members. The request to repair or rejuvenate the ruck filter has been made by Holmes McGrath to utilize the soil air system by Geomatrix LLC of Old Saybrook, Connecticut. The soil air system was used at the 99 restaurant to supply air to the leaching trenches. Design plans have been submitted and reviewed to add the soil air to the ruck system. I did send the plans to Brian, the board chair, for review and preliminary approval, because where the system was not working and because they were pumping and we did not want the system to back up, we treated it as an emergency and issued it a preliminary approval. And tonight is for the formal review and approval by the board.
Okay.
My name is Michael McGrath. I don't know if you know who I am, but I'm a principal at Holmes and McGrath, but I built the first denitrifying septic system in Massachusetts. I have 3 patents, 2 of them are expired, on wastewater, small-scale wastewater treatment. I also co-started a company in Bourne called Environmental Operating Solutions that has invented Micro-C, which is an industry now wide accepted carbon for denitrification. So we designed this ruck system several years ago, and the bottom line is that we've already used the soil air system to restore 4 other filters. And what the soil air system is, it's a patented system where they inject the air into the effluent that's being dosed on a leaching trench. Here, instead of mixing the air in the water, we actually put it so that it creates a suction at the bottom, and it sucks air through the ruck filter. We've done this at the Trier units in Falmouth, Massachusetts. It's been on for 3 or 4 years. We've also done it down in Yarmouth at an installation. What happens is the aerobic bacteria consume organic matter very rapidly compared to the traditionally there's not enough oxygen in when we apply wastewater onto ruck filters. And so by creating the vacuum, we will restore the ruck filter. In fact, on new ruck filters, we automatically add a soil air system. We have so much faith in it. I've seen it work. It's been installed 3 or 4 years in Falmouth. So I'm here to answer any questions. The way it works is we actually go beyond the filter. We have a series of valves that open and close automatically, and there's a suction applied. And it will restore this filter. And in Falmouth, it restored the filter in less than a day. It was so rapidly, I couldn't believe it.
they do work pretty well. Do you have any questions right off the bat?
No, I studied it today. It was interesting.
No, they generally, I know they do work pretty well. So, what was the sort of original cause of the failure of the ruck? Is it too much hydraulic loading, too much?
Well, there's been a recent paper that basically says we would be very cautious when you put sand filters underneath pavement, and we've had a very hot summer. And I don't know how much background you know on wastewater, but warm wastewater is very hard to treat. So the bottom line is, yeah, I think it's a combination of the age plus the strength of wastewater in Massachusetts is much higher than the industry assumes. So we have a combination of a bunch of things that have happened, but the soil layer will adjust it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. No disposal works construction permit.
You guys call it DWCP?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You can use that acronym if you want. I don't think I have any questions. Do you have any other questions, Glenn, or anything like that? Or you're pretty well set on this?
I'm all set. Just that there is a DEP remedial approval for the soil air system, and we went through this when we did the 99. It's very similar. Has mostly to do with the operation and maintenance, that there be a contract, and then the monitoring that's done. And I've outlined that in my recommendation, so.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So I move to approve the soil air retrofit with conditions the repair be performed in accordance with the DEP remedial use approval letter, which we have, and a disposal works construction permit shall be obtained by a licensed installer from the Board of Health prior to any work being done. A copy of the O&M contract between Holmes and McGrath and the residences at South Cape Beach Condominium Association that contains the requirements for monitoring the ponding and the ruck filter shall be submitted to the Mashpee Board of Health prior to issuance of the WCP.
Disposal works construction permit.
Yep, yep.
And Mike, your company is,
DWCP, yep.
your company is going to be doing the monitoring on this?
What? Yes,
Okay.
yes, but we're under contract with Geomatrix to represent them in Massachusetts and monitor the system.
Okay, but are
So-
you contracted with the residences at South Cape yet to do the monitoring for the condominium association?
Our contract's with Geomatrix, so yes, Geomatrix will have a contract and will be the sub to Geomatrix.
Between the condominium?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then per our regulation, the results of the monitoring needs to be sent to the Barnstable County.
Okay. I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you want those. All right. Oh, just in time. We'll now take our 7:15 appointment, which is a nitrogen aggregation loading plan for 5 Driftwood Way. The presenter tonight is Tristram Weller at Weller and Associates. Glenn, if you could give us a little background beforehand.
Yep.
about Rideau, please.
Okay. 5 Driftwood Way is in the Seabrook Village subdivision off of Surf Drive. The Seabrook Village Homeowners Association has allowed on several occasions for the open space area to be used as credit land for undersized properties to obtain the additional land for more bedrooms. In this case, 10,802 square feet are being utilized to obtain the 30,015 square feet required area for 3 bedrooms. The septic design plan, credit land survey plan, and grants of Title V nitrogen loading restriction and easement for the facility and credit land have been provided. The review fee has been paid, and the plans and documents have been reviewed, and I didn't have any other issues.
Okay.
Hi,
do you
Trish
think?
Weller from Weller and Associates. I think Glenn said it all on this. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, but
Okay.
I think it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, we've seen more than a few of these, so, yeah, I think we've got the process pretty well down at this point. Do you have any
No, it
questions about
seems
this one?
like the same as other,
Yeah, just a couple things to get the,
and we still don't have sketch
let's see.
plans be stamped and signed by a,
Yeah, these just need the easement just needs to be recorded with deeds, and,
okay.
And you had requested having it stamped by a land surveyor?
Yes, I believe that the,
Oh, yeah, all plans will be stamped by.
yeah, because they're considered draft right now. It's just that
Okay.
we want them stamped by a land surveyor before they're recorded, along with the grant of easement restriction. They'll get finalized once they, right, just prior to recording.
Okay. Yeah, I was,
Okay. Then I move to approve the septic design plan for 5 Driftwood Way for 3 bedrooms and the nitrogen aggregation plan with the following conditions: that the sketch plans be stamped and signed by a licensed land surveyor. The draft grants of the Title V restriction and easement must be finalized and recorded at the Registry of Deeds with an executed stamped copy provided to the Mashpee Board of Health prior to issuance of the septic installation permit and approval of the building permit.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Matt Costa is next door, tied up in Concom.
Okay.
So
wanna
why
put
don't
those
we
off?
move on?
Okay. All right.
Costa, he would be for the 7,
Yeah, the next
May.
2 appointments are actually
oh,
him,
his,
so, yeah.
okay.
Okay, so then let's move on to item number 5 under new business, trailer condemnation at 18 McMurphy Drive at Otis Trailer Village.
Okay.
If you could give us the background for that
Yeah.
one, please.
On July 30th, 2018, the Mashpee Fire Department notified the Board of Health of the condition of the interior of the trailer unit at 18 McMurphy Drive and Otis Trailer Village. The Assistant Health Agent went to the property and performed a sanitary code inspection. 4 violations were found, with 1 violation that was specified as a Section 750 condition that may impair the health and well-being of the occupant. The assistant agent deemed the unit unfit for habitation on an emergency basis as the unit was vacant. The owner of the unit, Joan Martin, was taken to the hospital. Due to her health, she did not return to the unit, and she sold the dwelling unit to the owners of Otis Trailer Village, Dr. McDonald. Ronnie and I met Dr. McDonald up at the property, and he is in the process of cleaning the unit out, and he'll give us a call when the unit is cleaned to see if it meets habitation standards, and then we will rescind the condemnation. But at this point, where the board has not seen this, and we did it on an emergency basis at the staff level, just wanted the board to review and issue the formal condemnation.
Okay. Is there anyone here to speak on this issue tonight? No? Okay.
So I agree with that.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's pretty
straightforward.
blatant,
It's
yeah.
not- There's not a whole lot to it, so.
Do you need more than this? So I vote to condemn the dwelling, or I move to vote to condemn the dwelling at 18 McMurphy Drive based upon the sanitary code inspection from July 30th, 2018.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hey,
Okay, oops. You can come join us at Board of Health if you want.
so far so good.
Okay. Should we dive into number 6 right now?
That
Or
one's- I'm thinking it won't be a lot,
is
but
that much to that, I guess?
guess it depends.
So item number 6, noise violation at 96 Cayuga Avenue.
I don't know if there's anyone here for that. Anyone here for 96 Cayuga? Okay. That's fine.
We can take it now, or should we just give it a little bit more time for anybody to show up?
No, I don't think anyone is going to show. That's why I was just kind of curious if
Oh, okay.
folks that were here were for it, because
Oh, okay.
I don't think anyone is going to come.
Okay.
The
Doesn't-
information has been submitted in writing, so I did not think that they were going to come to the meeting.
Right, okay. Yeah, there were quite a few comments that went with this particular
Yeah.
one. So,
I need to find it.
So I guess for the record, what's the background on this one?
Several noise complaints have been registered with the animal control officer back in the end of last year and then in the spring of this year regarding roosters at the property at 96 Cayuga Avenue. And due to the complaints, the animal control officer required the removal of the roosters. On June 4th, the Board of Health sent a letter ordering the removal of the roosters as they had not been removed based upon the order from the animal control officer. On July 7th, 2018, the owner requested a hearing to reply to the order of the removal of the roosters, and the hearing was set for tonight. However, the animal control officer emailed me a couple of days ago on September 10th, notifying me that the roosters had been removed from the property. So that ended that portion of the complaints. And there were written and signed statements and emails received from 3 of the neighbors of 96 Cayuga. Recently, at the end of August and the beginning of September, we've been receiving additional complaints regarding the screeching of an animal at all times of the day, but mainly at night. And the question of whether quails were making the noise was really the issue, and it does end up that there are quails on the property. And on September 7th, when the animal control officer was last on the property, he did speak with the owner, and she did say that the male quails were screeching due to a neighborhood cat in the area of the quail pen. I guess the cat was sitting and basically watching. I don't know if he considered harassment, but they're certainly watching them. And I guess the male quails are the ones that were screeching, but they were doing it at all times of the night. And I did receive some sound bits or video clips of the noise, and it was definitely loud enough to be considered a nuisance for the noise bylaw. I don't know if it'd be considered a nuisance per our standard, because there's not loud enough to cause harm, but certainly the noise bylaw had happened at 11:30 at night, which is in between the hours of 10 and 7 a.m. So that, I think it would certainly meet the requirements of a violation of the noise bylaw.
Okay.
So I think if the male quails are the ones that are making the noise, I think it'd be worthy to get them out of there, because it is certainly a pretty disturbing sound.
Yeah. Did you send along the video, a link to the video or anything like that, or?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I can send it. It is difficult to hear, but you can hear the screeching in the background.
okay.
And it is, it's a pretty harsh noise.
Yeah. I imagine when you're trying to sleep, that's,
It's like a screech owl.
yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would be, especially being summer and you have the windows open and everything. Okay.
So can we, if we agree that we think that the male quail should be removed, can we make a motion for that now? Or is?
I think
do
we
need
have enough
more?
evidence to,
I
where
do
we
too.
have evidence that it was after 10 PM, and,
And the owner said that it was.
yeah, and the owner admitted that it was the male quails who were making the noise, so.
Okay,
Do you agree?
I agree.
So, due to the admission of the owner regarding the male quails and the sound video that was recorded at 11:30 at night by the neighbor, I make a motion to have the male quails at 96 Cayuga Avenue removed.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
I honestly thought that would be a little bit more interesting than that, but, okay.
All the letters were, like,
No,
I
you
know,
never know, I guess.
I know.
Okay, item number 7, request for a food establishment permit for 11 Light Nourishing Foods LLC at 439 Nathan Ellis Highway. If you could give us the background on that one, please, Glenn.
Okay. A request has been submitted by Mary Galvin of Love and Light Nourishing Foods to operate a food establishment called Be Real Food at the same location where White Lion Baking Company operates from. They are planning on sharing space for the production of their new line of foods. Mary is currently working from a residential kitchen in Yarmouthport. The Serve Safe menu and allergy awareness certificates have been provided. White Lion Baking is already a licensed establishment, and no changes are being requested, equipment or floor plan-wise, and the fee has been paid. And there is someone here to represent the facility.
Okay, great. Would you like to make any comments this evening?
My name is Paul Galvin.
Thank you.
Mary's husband, and trying to help her out with the business end of things. My wife started a gluten-free organic cookie dough business some 2 years ago. And in the process of having the state come into our home to approve the business, it was discussed and realized that the way she produces the dough is such that it does not need to be refrigerated, which caused a quandary for the state because you can't make anything out of your home that needs to be refrigerated. So they granted her the permit based on that and suggested that she have some testing done, and based on the testing, a patent was filed, and she now holds a patent for this dough. So she rebranded the company. This isn't a bribe, I'm just showing. She rebranded the company Be Real Foods.
Oh, neat.
And we're processing out of the home, well, she is, I keep saying we, out of the home for all Massachusetts sales. We're doing a Seaport Festival in Yarmouth, and to sell outside of Massachusetts, in dealing with the state, we can't produce it out of the home. So they said you need to find a commercial kitchen or which had to be gluten-free because of the nature of the business. So my wife is contracted with White Lion, and all she's going to do basically is go in there a couple of Sundays a month and just use their facilities for just making dough, not baking or whatever of that facility. And I went to talk to Bruce and Phil in Yarmouth about the plan, and that's when they suggested we come and see Glenn and form the paperwork. So 2 Sundays a month when White Lion is closed, my wife is going in just to make whatever dough she might need to produce for out of state. And then the majority is still going to be run what she does in the home business. So.
Oh, okay. And that's the packaging?
Yes.
Is that, just out of curiosity, so it's like are these the actual, oh, wow,
Yeah, it's good, too.
is it?
I admit I eat more than I should, but
Yeah, I read about it today.
my wife has
Edible bakeable
lost a
cookie
lung
dough.
to cancer in 1999 and had to give up her career as a pediatric nurse practitioner.
Excuse me, Mr. Galvin, just speak at the microwave, because people at home.
Microwave. Speak at the microwave.
My wife lost a lung to cancer in 1999 and had to give up her career as a pediatric
I've
nurse
seen it.
practitioner, and has had a lot of offshoot problems
Thank you.
as a basis of that. And the latest one about 3 years ago is she came down with a gluten allergy out of nowhere. And she'd always liked to bake, so with the gluten allergy, she had to have a new avenue. So
Oh,
this has evolved over almost 3.5 or 4 years to where it is now. But as I say, the patent is something that she had no idea about tripping over. But, so simply coming to Mashpee for a few hours on maybe 2 Sundays a month just to produce what she might need to ship out of state to keep the state happy with their deal. So that's all we're doing. So.
Okay. And is it packaged in these packages on
Yes.
that location? So
It's going to be packaged but not shipped. So yes,
Okay.
because we can't transport the dough, in bulk containers and then package. So she's going to be making the dough and packaging it there. Then we're just
Taking it
boxing
back
it
from
and
there.
bringing it back to our
Right.
facility. So.
Okay, okay. Do you have any questions?
No, I looked into it a lot today, so I feel comfortable with it.
Okay, I think I am. Do you have any other
No, I have no other comments.
comments? Okay.
So I move to approve the food establishment permit for Love and Light Nourishing Foods with the condition of an inspection by a health agent prior to operation.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So we'll come in and check
Process.
it, well, you may be there on a Sunday, but maybe you can just, we'll meet on one time during the week.
During the normal
Where
week.
we can come in, so you can just go, take us through what you're gonna do.
Okay, yeah, she will do that. She'll
Yeah.
meet with you.
Yep, just so that
Okay.
we can, part of the inspection, again, White Lion is all
Right.
certified already, and you're using the same facility, but if she could just take us through that, that'd be fine.
All right, so I'll have Mary give you a call.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Can I ask where to buy it? Do you buy it on, can we buy it online, or do you have it in one of the stores?
Yeah, I have it.
Oh, that's all right.
The website is officially going online. There's a quasi-website now for the store, everything is going online.
Oh, okay.
But I can leave this one.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I
the website-
I mean, I don't want to pass on cookies, but at the same time, I shouldn't.
The website will be online next week, and then, like I say, she's gonna be at the Seaside Festival and some festivals around.
Oh, great. I'll have to be on the lookout.
There'll be no retail sales.
Oh, okay. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
You can have this if you want.
All right, take
Oh,
care.
I have the-
Do you have it? Oh, I printed out the, you have all this stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
I looked into it because you gotta be really careful. So I went on the CDC and stuff and brought it out because there's coconut oil, chips, things that could go bad, flour, and those are in other products, so I couldn't say no, really. But I wanted to just, because there's outbreaks, and I just wanted to be careful. You'll have to see the process, and if she does that well, then it should be fine.
Excellent.
I'm just not used to having raw cookie, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Suggesting
yeah.
to eat. Okay.
All right. Item number 8, request for outdoor seating at the Chocolate Rose, 628 Main Street,
They're talking
Suite
bakery stuff.
A.
She's talking bakery stuff.
We can wait a moment.
That's
while they-
Vanessa. Vanessa is here.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, it's,
We knew
That's
you
all
were
right.
talking
I
bakery.
need to, start my comments here. Okay. Here are floor plans
okay.
submitted. Okay. A request has been submitted by Vanessa Benoit of the Chocolate Rose to amend the food establishment permit to include 12 outdoor seats. Due to the restriction of the potable well on the property, the public is not allowed to use the bathrooms, or the well would be considered a transient, non-community well, which it cannot be. The on-site well does not have its entire protective radius of 100 feet on the property, so the well can never be considered a permitted public well. We did discuss this at the permitting of the food establishment, where the board ordered the use of bottled water for preparation of all consumed foods. A letter dated November 1st, 1989, from Larry Dayan, the section chief of the Drinking Water section of DEP, is really the source of the guidance that we're using for this, and that letter states that if a takeout food service establishment uses bottled water and the public cannot access the restrooms served by the well, then the facility is under local Board of Health jurisdiction. So if the public that comes in and has seating and uses the bathrooms, then that well has to be considered a public well. But because of the protective radius, the customers cannot use the on-site bathroom. So, what is being requested tonight is that the Chocolate Rose would like to place a portable toilet on the property for customers that are using the seating to use as a facility.
Okay.
And the owner, Vanessa Benoit, is here to
Good evening. Welcome
represent.
back.
Last time I almost knocked this over, so I don't know. So we were hoping that by providing the portable toilet that we are basically eliminating any issue at all with what we just talked about. Everything that we currently do is all bottled water for everything inside except for sanitizing the dishes, which we had already gone through. But this eliminates any need for people to come in, use the bathroom, anything. Quite honestly, I wasn't interested in the seating piece in the beginning because I figured we would just do what we could handle type of thing, but it is directly affecting sales, where we do have people walk in. We had I think I put this in your note too, but we had an Army wife group contact us from the base and say, you know, do you have seating? We'd like to bring the new wives in, or however the new families in, and they won't come in because we don't have a place to sit. We have families come in and they look for seating, we don't have it, and leave. Like, we literally have people open the door, poke their head in and say, do you have a place to sit? And we say no. And so people are actually annoyed with they're annoyed with us, which I think is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
And when we just try to roughly explain, you know, that they only care for, you know, they really don't care. They just want some place to sit and enjoy a coffee and a pastry. So we just hoped that with this that would eliminate the issue of having to worry about people using the water. And I did request for an extended period of time. Obviously, it would be weather permitting for everything, but where our weather has been so insane, I don't know if it was last Christmas or the Christmas before, it was literally like 65 degrees out. So we did push it far. Obviously, if the weather temperatures drop and so on, then we're not, I don't even know what the rules on the porta potty are anyways, but if it's cold outside, we're not gonna have it. But we just thought it'd be nice, and so many people have asked. You know, we've finally got people are thanking us for being there. I mean, it's been actually a fantastic experience. You know, that pieces that I didn't really consider when we did it. You know, people are like so thrilled that the building's being used. They're happy that we're there. It gives them an in between from Sandwich to Mashpee for where other places are located. So
Yep.
it's been awesome.
Good.
Have you seen that letter before? Because I think I
No.
presented that.
I vaguely remember this, but yeah.
Because that's really the crux of the whole deal as far as what I'm using as guidance from DEP.
Right.
And the property has been vacant and has been restricted for so long. I guess at one point, somebody did say that they wanted to put a takeout food service establishment, and that's why that was written. So that's what I'm using as guidance from DEP.
We did talk to somebody in whoever you had sent us to, I can't remember his name right now, but somebody in the water department.
Andy Marks.
Yes, Andy
Yeah.
Marks. And he basically sent, my husband was actually the one speaking with him, and he sent us back like a big, long email saying how he felt like we were completely kind of going around the issue. He referenced
Yeah.
multiple, I don't remember the email, and maybe, actually, I think I asked Jay to forward it to you. Did he by any chance? Does that ring a bell? Whatever.
I don't ever saw, I didn't
Okay.
see Andy's comments.
He sent, I mean, he did, we went through Andy, and we also went through Mike at the building inspector, because initially it was the issues with the plumbing, and they wanted us to put in a hallway and all of this stuff. So both of them agreed that we were bypassing the problem because of not ever actually coming into the building to touch any water, because they'd be using the porta potty, so.
Right. Okay.
I did have a chance to talk to Walter at Landers, and
I'm not sure if that's.
he has not, he has not even spoken to Andy. And every time that I've spoken to him before.
They have no
three-
intention.
Right, three
They have no
times now, they have
intention.
no intention of bringing water down to the property.
No.
And that I find
Submit
I'm not
it
sure.
is really
material for the seats, but I'm not.
kind of
gonna go on
unreasonable where they want to expand the use of the property and then they have, but do not want
this. I
to
just want support.
service their tenants.
during that
I've got to be
time.
honest, I don't, there does not seem to be any immediate rush to fill that
Right.
space, which is actually a little disappointing on my end, because obviously the more traffic we bring in,
Right,
the better it is for us.
Right.
But, and Walter works directly with Skip, the owner of PA Landers.
Yep.
And of course, every move
I
is
think he's just saying
whatever
yes, like
Yep.
he
Skip
can have
says.
porta potties during this
But I
time.
mean, he's made it clear that's not
it's
their bread and butter, that's not their.
Right.
so,
He must have sent them late. Denying the request, so we have one restaurant.
I don't quite understand it either. He's told me on multiple occasions that everybody seems to think that they can move the well, that they have the space to move the well, but they don't actually have the space to move the well. I don't really know whether that's here or there. But this at least would give us the opportunity to hopefully go around it and at least do the seasonal piece, you know? Because quite honestly, it would be great to have people be
So
able to
this
come in,
is
and
what we're doing.
I just can't believe the impact that it's had where,
Right.
you know, and sometimes sometimes people will still get something, but they'll, instead of getting
Crazy with.
a $6 or $7 ticket item, they
Right.
say, oh, you don't have any place to sit, and they'll get a grab-and-go $3 ticket item, you know?
Right.
So I mean,
I just don't know what the big draw is. It's just a parking lot out there where there's nothing but trucks going through the parking
you know
lot
what,
that,
it's not that bad, actually. I thought it was gonna be worse with the trucks, but it hasn't been bad at all. There's
Okay,
not that
good.
much traffic with the trucks at all.
Oh, good.
And we were really worried about it because of the
Yeah.
trucks kicking up dirt and
Yeah.
for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do comment also. I mean, the building's clean. It's a clean, except for the lack of pretty that they bring.
Yeah.
It's clean, it's nice. We've got it all dolled up outside. It's very
Yep.
inviting, you know, people comment regularly on how pretty it is.
Right.
So, and I think it is that in-between point, instead of going all the way into Sandwich Town
Right.
or going all the way into the Commons.
Right.
So, I mean, that is
I'm
just
not saying
from
this, you
what
just said it.
customers are saying.
Okay.
You know,
No
that seems
change
to
in
be.
expansion
I
of the
just-
menu, like
No,
sandwiches
I'm with
for
you.
lunch.
I mean, for me, it's a place by the water eating, or however. so-
Right.
She
But
sells different
so
types
many
of-
people, and it's funny because most often they
think
think
she's
they're the only
doing this
ones.
as
You know what would be really good?
in that
Please tell
lunch
me.
menu.
Right,
So,
right.
but yeah, I don't think they
I'm not
have,
gonna say it.
I think
No
I'm pretty
expansion.
positive there's zero intention of moving
Yeah.
that well.
Very
Yeah, when
straightforward.
you first went in there, you wanted just to get out of your house and do your own thing, and this
Yeah.
has kind of snowballed.
Yes, well, again, I didn't expect people to literally, like, we've had people angry with
Yeah.
us, like, and it's like, it's not, we're not telling you no just because we don't feel like throwing a table outside or a bench
Right.
outside, you know?
Right.
And we do, some people let us explain,
And I
others
can,
just
say
leave.
this, the reason for
Right.
the approval is because of this
Mm-hmm.
DEP letter. All right,
What do you think?
I mean,
No, I think,
I want her to be able to have it, but like, it can't get crazy where you have all kinds of people sitting down for lunch, you have a porta potty and no running water, and so it has to be restricted, you
Right.
know, with these stipulations, so. But people do, her food is so good that they do go out of their way to go down there, and lots of people, and go down there and get it, but we still have to go, we have to follow the public health rules and.
So aren't there, I haven't done a ton of research because quite honestly, we're busy and it's peak wedding season. But aren't there porta potties where you can actually have water inside of them?
Yeah, there are, and hand sanitizer, but.
I know there's the ones that you have the pump, that's just a sanitizer, but aren't there some that actually have water?
Yes, there are.
yeah, I believe you can get them.
And how
like
far do
that.
you
I
go
don't
with
know how
that?
you
Like, that
fill
doesn't-
them.
Yeah, those are,
You'd
still
have to
have to
get-
be self-contained units, so.
Yeah, you'd have to get water from off-site or whatever.
Well, that's
Hey.
what we currently do.
Right,
So-
yeah, I guess.
Not that I wanna do more work. I mean, whoever we
Right.
hire to bring it in would obviously maintain
is
it
a lot of work,
weekly or
yeah.
however that is.
Yeah, Yeah. No, I mean, I can think of other locations that are like that. There's a seafood restaurant up in Brewster, Kate's Seafood, they don't have they have seating, but no publicly accessible bathroom. I don't think it's for the same reason, but, you
Right.
know, there's porta potty around back.
Right.
I mean, the food trucks have become such a big thing where they're popping up all over the place and they're having, I mean, isn't that, well, Knockabout's different because
They have a bathroom, yeah.
bathroom, yeah. But I know there's a place in Sandwich that has just the food truck and a porta potty. There's been, I feel like there's multiple places that we've been, we've seen through the summer. Not me, because I live in the bakery, but other people that we've chatted with.
Right.
So,
Okay, yeah, I mean, I guess as long as,
We have the stipulations
Yeah,
of the size and,
you know, there's some sort of hand washing facility available, which I suppose we could require be a self-contained unit with like physical water
Right.
container, or, you know, something better than just hand sanitizer,
Yeah.
I guess.
I haven't seen those units unless you go to like a full contained trailer. But do you have to have?
I've seen 'em.
You have to have water piped to them, or is there, they have to
must be
be
a tank in
powered? Are they
there.
battery powered, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't.
I'm not sure, because the ones that I know of just merely have the sanitizer.
Mostly,
the pump
yeah.
sanitizer in them.
Right.
and so do you feel like that wouldn't be acceptable to have the pump sanitizer?
I'd rather have soap and water, but just because
So if you
It's
went
food.
to,
Yeah.
for example, a
Like, doesn't help
fair or
normals and
anything
things like
else, what
that.
do they generally have?
what's that? I'm sorry.
If you went to like a fair or any other public event, what do they generally have? I quite honestly,
I know, I was
try to
thinking
never
of, I
use
was
them.
thinking of that when the food trucks go to
Yeah.
Boston County.
Yeah, I
like-
mean, they do have hand
They-
sanitizer, so,
Yeah,
but those are
and
temporary.
they-
Oktoberfest, they have
Oh, they have a
porta
bathroom
potties.
there, actually, yeah, they have a
Yeah.
bathroom at
There's
the,
no running water at that.
which one? I know, I'm trying
The
to,
Oktoberfest, out on the green.
yeah,
Hand sanitizer makes me cringe, but, I mean,
Hmm.
it's,
because it doesn't work
Porta
for
potties make me
certain,
cringe.
yeah, certain foodborne illnesses and enteric.
it does. I think it provides an adequate level of protection if you feel, is that,
Yeah.
Well, if you're proposing,
Well, the other thing too is
Saying
that we don't have to
memorial.
rush into this. She's looking for this for next year.
Well, we
So-
would try to take advantage
Fine.
of it this year, just so that people understand that we're here, we're staying, and that it's something that we are offering. I can't say that again, we're in peak wedding season, September is gonna kill me. So I mean, there's a chance that we could do it this year, there's also a chance we could not. It would be nice to know, though, because it helps us make decisions about the building. There is another space down below that has, that we're looking at for the possibility of storage, but I also don't, if I don't know that we can increase sales with having that, if I don't know that, we may not stay there if they don't plan on ever fixing anything. We're spending a lot of money on water, now we'll be spending on a porta potty, so it's adding up. So it
Right,
does,
right.
it does actually play very big into what decisions we make moving forward on things, so it would be nice to know for planning purposes.
do we have any precedents, existing?
Not on this
Kinda like
that I
this?
know of.
No?
Not where the board has approved something like this, no. I just have real concerns where, if the menu changes, if it ends up being breakfast sandwiches and it goes to regular sandwiches and then we're into lunch.
lots of
And,
people.
and this is what had happened when the Mashpee Deli was over at the Sopranos location in Deer Crossing. And we ended up fighting for 3 years with them based on design flow, whether it put them above or below 10,000 gallons a day to kick them into DEP. And granted, there were other things that were going on there, but that is essentially how that started. It was a retail facility, and then they got seats, and then they changed their menu to make sandwiches, and then it's now a 72-seat restaurant, which it never should have been there. But there were things that occurred through approvals for the septic system that allowed it to change use. And I just don't want to get into that, especially where we're having a property that's restricted so heavily because of the well.
There's no way, because obviously I'd like to think they're trying to put people in the building, but there's no way there can be stronger persuasion or guidelines for them to need to do something with the well. I don't understand why.
There isn't. There's nothing that the Board of Health can force them to do. It's, and the only way to get town water down there right now is, from what Andy says, is for the Pickerel Cove residents to petition it.
What about the new strip or whatever that's coming in, like, right close?
Evergreen Circle, the,
I don't know what it's called, what's
that
coming in.
industrial
Yeah.
area?
Well,
Well,
no.
that-
Is that what's coming? It's more industrial?
Yeah.
The new road that they're like clearing out and they're gonna, I thought it was supposed to be houses. I'm hearing different things now.
No, that's 2 commercial lots up front and 10 industrial lots called Evergreen Circle.
Okay.
And that's what I talked to Walter about, because at the very end of that subdivision directly abuts Landers' property. And that's what I wanted him to talk to Andy at the Water District about, because that water main is gonna run to the end of that subdivision and could come right through their property and come over to the 628 Main Street and provide water, and they wanted nothing to do with it.
Excellent.
So that to me was a solve, but where Landers, they abut and would have to run the line through Landers' property, they would have to take them to do it. I haven't discussed that much farther with Andy, because it would take Walter to talk to him on behalf of Landers.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying, you're kind of stuck in the middle between an extremely restricted property and a landlord who doesn't care about expanding the property.
Right.
So, the board is, if they do approve this, it's gonna have a large number of restrictions, based upon, my experiences and also based upon the regulations. So, I'm not saying it can't be done, I'm just, it's gonna be, kind of a tough deal. But it's up to the board and what they wanna do.
So what about as far as, like, the porta potties? What about the care for those? I mean, they can't be like ones that are down Sandy Neck. I mean, it has to be like really kept up well at the restaurant. So that's another whole like can of worms.
Right.
The companies are held responsible for that, right? But it also affects,
Well, it's gonna service,
Affiliated with
it's
her.
gonna service the Chocolate Rose. The Chocolate Rose would have to be responsible for keeping them up,
really
because,
clean,
and
yeah,
any violations with, just like any violations of the bathroom inside a food establishment is gonna be the same for this.
good,
If there's any violations of that, it certainly can the board would look at revoking the right to use the bathrooms. So it would behoove them to keep it clean and operable.
yeah, and she would.
Yeah, I mean, I know you've been in, we're not.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
You're
I-
so clean,
I,
but-
right,
but
I have no
there's
issues
lots
with that,
of
I'm just
them
saying
that aren't, yeah.
responsibility would be theirs.
Yeah,
Right. But, I mean, say we do approve this and somebody else comes along who isn't necessarily as,
clean.
But
Well-
if they're not, you're also visiting their establishments and
Yeah.
Right.
able to
Well,
differentiate.
if you were to approve it, I think it would be for this business only, would not be transferable.
Okay,
You could not, because I was worried about even other people coming into the building and using it when that
Right.
really shouldn't
right.
be. And,
Oh, yeah, we're getting it for our
yeah,
customers.
they're gonna be responsible for maintaining the bathrooms. And that's something that you may wanna do with his and hers rather than just one porta potty. You may, but based on 12 seats, you would probably just need the one.
Okay. So essentially what we're looking at for conditions would be a porta potty with potentially some sort of hand washing facility.
Hand
And-
washing or hand sanitizer?
And the public health, my gut feeling is it should be
Hand
a sink.
washing?
I mean, I get what you say about like the fair is just a hand sanitizer, but I mean, those are temporary, transient sort of establishments. and
Yeah,
not
I
a
like water.
permanent.
They have them. they have a
not a
sink in them.
permanent sort of
Yeah.
a thing.
It's also, for something like a fair, we're talking about masses and thousands of people.
Yeah,
With 12 seats, I'm not necessarily expecting that.
yeah,
So I don't know if that would make a little bit of a difference. With a fair, you're also looking at every walk of life. We don't necessarily, not to say that everyone is not welcome, everyone is welcome, but we certainly cater to a specific clientele.
yeah.
So I don't, not
Right.
being very careful of what I say, you know, I don't, like to think they're, you know, and quite honestly,
People are dirty.
I know it's not
Yeah,
something
they
I would use.
This is true.
Well,
People are
if you're,
dirty.
if you're looking at
It's because I do it for a
requiring,
living.
if you're looking at requiring water inside the portable toilet, you're gonna also limit the time that it's out there because, and I have put Columbus Day for a time frame because that's our first frost.
Yeah,
And so it's gonna, even though we have had warm falls, the first frost occurs in October.
right.
So, that's kind of the time frame that I was looking at. Memorial Day to Columbus Day, I don't know how much more business you're gonna do from October to December,
We're
but,
gonna do lots.
I don't know how long these warm falls into winter are gonna last, but I just worried about freezing,
Right.
because the days may be warm, but the nights are gonna be cold.
I figured also that the company, whoever we go with, will
What's the place? down
tell
here?
us
It
what,
just
what the
has-
restrictions
it just
are for that
hangs
too.
out?
I didn't quite know, so.
Kate Seafood, yeah, it's just I mean, it's not the nicest porta potty in the world. They don't take very
See,
good care
that's
of it,
gross.
and it's, yeah. I mean, I go back and forth on that issue a little bit, but, so going back to the other things, though, I guess we would look at some sort of a seating restriction, so that there's no creep in that, and also, if you have concern about sort of menu creep, then some sort of a restriction on
Yeah.
changes to the menu without prior approval.
Yeah, no change or
Like
expansion
a,
of the
yeah,
menu.
with like a big luncheon menu or something. Not that you don't do that, so just
No.
without previous approval. I mean, when people sit there now, they don't use the indoor bathroom. That's
We don't have people sit.
just in the next room, the tables and chairs.
Oh, the
for
tasting
coffee.
room?
Yeah.
No, they
That's
don't.
just for tasting and coffee.
That's just for a
and-
tasting,
Okay.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
But
nobody
still, okay.
sits.
Yeah, oh, okay.
I mean, excuse me, nobody is in, it's
Yeah,
just
for any
literally
length of
tastings.
time.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, people people love that.
But
They
it's
see the
still like
table and
tasting
get
food.
angry about that too.
Oh,
so-
I'm sure they
'cause
probably,
they don't understand it's just for a tasting,
Right.
not open seating, so.
well, I mean, I suppose if you were comfortable with having, you know, a restriction on the menu, and, you know,
Limited seats and
Limited,
getting
you
a
know,
porta potty.
a limited number of seats, and,
Which is
you know,
what we talked about, right? The
Getting and
12?
keeping getting and keeping a porta potty and only having it there during sort of the period from Memorial Day to Columbus Day. I guess those would sort of be the conditions that we'd place on it. What do you think about the hand washing versus hand sanitizer issue?
know, that
That's
one's
the only-
tough.
I mean, what's your sort of opinion on that, Glenn?
I'd probably lean toward the hand washing,
That's ideal.
because
And they do have sinks and
this
stuff.
isn't a construction site, this is gonna be a restaurant where
It's
they're gonna be.
food, yeah.
Right, they're gonna be eating, and a bunch of it may be hand food, ready-to-eat food, cupcakes, you serve cupcakes, and.
Yeah.
No,
or-
actually,
well,
we don't. And those are a hand food. We do serve croissants and Danish and such, which is a
Okay.
hand food.
Yeah.
So
not
there,
cupcakes, yeah.
there are other foods that are gonna be eaten with the hands, just.
Yeah, I mean, if we had another establishment that had a bathroom with no sink in it, we'd require it.
And this
They'd have to put
isn't
in
a
a sink.
temporary food establishment. This
Right.
is a
Right.
brick and mortar facility.
It's the safest thing to do.
Right.
I agree. I mean, that might,
So we
Because
could,
you're eating little,
the code allows it for temporary food, like an Oktoberfest or something where it's gonna be a one-day event. This is not a one-day event.
Right.
This is a permanent facility.
that's what makes it hard. It's not something that we see a lot.
yeah,
Okay.
I think it would have to
I
be
think we'll do that.
And then it's up to you whether it's too cost restrictive, I guess, once you kind of dig into your research on it.
I don't plan on, the menu is what the menu is. I mean, aside from changing flavors of things, we're not planning to expand we're not
Okay.
a breakfast restaurant, and we're also not a lunch restaurant, certainly
Right.
not a dinner restaurant.
Right.
So as far as that goes, that to me isn't, I like to say that's not that big of a deal. The menu, I mean, the dates, as long as we can have it, it's nice to have it. We just don't know what the weather is, so that works.
Yeah,
What was the other thing?
okay. And the restriction on the number of seats, yeah, to
Yeah,
keep it to
and
12
we
seats.
requested the 12, so that's what we plan to get.
Yeah,
And I think that we're gonna have to just reevaluate, unfortunately, the location in general, just because if they're not planning to do anything at all, I mean, you know, it would be
Yeah.
nice to have a little bit more option, a little fewer restrictions on, I feel like, everything that we're doing, trucking and water and everything else, so.
yeah, yeah. No, for me, I mean, the part of it, it's obviously we're here for public health. Also, there is the aspect of keeping a business in town and, you know, sort of allowing a little bit of flexibility for that. So, I mean, that's kind
All
of
right.
where I sit on the issue, so.
All right, let's see if
You
I
wanna
can.
make that motion?
Yeah, good luck, okay. Let me just try. So I move to approve the outdoor seating at 628 Main Street, the Chocolate Rose, with the condition that a portable toilet be present, or a self-contained porta potty with soap and water be present for a period from Memorial Day to Columbus Day. The indoor bathroom be restricted to employees only. The building department must approve, you still want that, huh? The building, they have to, the building department must approve the use of portable toilet and the restriction of the bathrooms to employees only.
Yeah, I wanna check with the building department, because I haven't spoken to them about this.
Okay. And of course, you know that the types of materials of the chairs and tables must be submitted and
Yeah,
approved
we'll
by.
go through.
So they can be
Yep,
wiped down and
absolutely.
intact. And the reason for the approval is that the on-site well is restricted and no public bathrooms can be made available. And the approval follows the intent of the 1989 DEP letter by Larry
Larry Dayan.
Dayan. The approval would be for this business only and not transferable. The portable toilet must be present during outdoor seating use, and then, as you said, no changes in expansion of the menu, you know, without prior approval coming to the Board of Health. Is that everything?
I think that's,
Can't think of anything else.
I just have one other comment before you make a second and a final. The location of the porta potty is shown on the sketch. That may be the closest location across the way, but there is through traffic that goes through there.
Yeah.
And granted, Vanessa said that the trucks that go through there aren't as bad, but there's still large trucks that don't slow down very well.
Right.
Because they're gravel trucks, they're large dirt trucks, and there's concrete trucks, and they don't slow down very well. So I'm thinking of a couple alternate locations, either across the front of the parking on the roadside, or maybe down on the sidewalk, down near the back corner of the building. Is there room there in the sidewalk?
I don't know if there's room directly on the sidewalk.
Okay.
I mean, well, because I don't know, what are the restrictions of that, if it's literally on the sidewalk, taking up the
I
sidewalk?
don't know. I'm just not crazy about people walking back and forth across an area where there's through traffic.
yeah, yeah.
So if we can just figure that out, I think there's a better spot than, granted, I know it's not that far, but again, it's, there's through traffic that goes through there.
Okay, so an additional condition then would be location, identification of an alternate location from the submitted floor plan.
An additional, is that all sidewalk on the right? Like, I'm thinking in the back, would it,
It is.
'cause you don't want it sitting in front of the building.
No, we definitely do not want that on display.
So we can, but are we supposed to specifically state which?
You can say to be determined. We
Okay.
can go over and again, I can talk to the building department too, to see if there's any restrictions on where to put it, if it has to be away from the building or,
So an additional recommendation is to identify an alternate
location for the portable toilet.
Location for the porta potty, to be determined.
Okay. I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I did think
Good
of that
luck.
too, with it so far away, with the trucks and. I know, that's good, that's good.
Yeah,
I know, that was
I
hard.
hope that's this.
I know, I know.
I will write that up and send it to you. And then, let's talk to the building department, and then let's find a location for the porta potty.
Okay.
A good, safe location.
Sounds good.
Thank
Okay?
you.
Yeah, thank
Yep.
you. Okay. Welcome, Matt. Welcome, Matt.
Welcome, Matt. I always say that to my son.
Sorry I was late. I was over at Conservation.
We knew where you were.
Matt, are
Yeah, we
ya?
knew. We held off for you. Okay, so going back to our 7:20 appointment for the nitrogen aggregation loading plan at 34 Sandy Way. 34. If you could give us the background for that one, Glenn.
Does he need that back?
Oh, yeah. Got that one back as well. All right. Oh, that one.
34 Sandy Way. Oh, you have everything?
34 Sandy Way is in the Seabrook Village subdivision off of Surf Drive. The Seabrook Village Homeowners Association has allowed on several occasions for the open space area to be used as credit land for undersized properties to obtain the additional land for more bedrooms. In this case, 11,191 square feet are being utilized to obtain the 30,000 square feet required area for 3 bedrooms. The credit land survey plan, grants of Title V nitrogen loading restriction and easement for the facility and credit land have been provided. The review fee has been paid, and the plans and documents have been reviewed. No issues were encountered. The septic design plan has not been submitted with this approval request. The Title V design plan must be submitted and approved at a later date prior to issuance of a disposal works construction permit and the approval of a building permit.
Okay. Would you like to add anything to that tonight?
No, I think both of you are familiar with this process. If you want me to explain it, yeah, I'd be happy to.
I think I'm all set. Are you?
Yeah, I feel comfortable now because we've done several of these.
No, I don't really have.
I feel comfortable with this specific one.
Any questions? I mean, it looks like, for the most part, it is the same zone 2. This is the one where they were actually adjacent
That's
properties,
correct.
correct? So.
Yeah, this is within the same subdivision,
Okay,
and actually abuts the property.
okay.
I mean, it was straightforward, but you didn't see anything.
Yep, yep.
I read this.
Restrictions there.
We changed the plan format from what you're used to seeing. It's now, fits all on 8.5 by 11.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty.
3-bedroom.
Oh, shoot.
Great.
In my comments, disregard the septic plan approval, because the septic plan's not been submitted. So it's just the nitrogen aggregation plan that's being requested.
Oh, okay.
I gave him an extra approval, which he hadn't submitted for yet.
That's what you said, though.
What?
You said the plan wasn't submitted.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
I know. I
wasn't.
put in my recommendations to approve the septic plan,
Oh.
and it's tough to do that when you
Oh, I
didn't,
see
when you
that.
didn't
We're just-
submit one.
We're just approving the nitrogen aggregation plan.
I see.
And then that would also be, the sketch plans be stamped, and,
I think I copied it from 5 Sandy Way.
no, it was like the same. So I thought, oh, and I
I
read
mean,
them.
5,
5, yeah, the other one.
yeah,
This is-
Driftwood Way, 'cause it's in the same subdivision.
Oh, okay. But you did have later on in the paragraph.
Yeah, that it had to
Must
be submitted later.
Yeah,
So, this is still included, all these,
yep. Yep.
all this.
Yeah, this hasn't been
Because the only
recorded yet.
thing is just the design plan.
Yep.
Why didn't I see that? Oh, the septic design plan has not been submitted, okay. All of this is here, and it's not the design plan. So this all has to be done still?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I move to approve the nitrogen aggregation plan with the following conditions: that the sketch plans be stamped and signed by a licensed land surveyor. The draft grants of Title V restriction and easement must be finalized and recorded at the Registry of Deeds with an executed stamped copy provided to the Mashpee Board of Health prior to issuance of the septic installation permit and approval of the building permit. The Title V septic design plan, plan must be submitted at a later date for the staff level approval prior to issuance of a disposal works construction permit and building permit.
Okay, I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Trying to mess me up there.
Okay, and our 7:25 appointment, nitrogen aggregation loading plan for 9 Deans Hollow Road. Who'd like to present? Would you like to do a presentation?
I'll let Matt do
Matt,
this
would you
one.
like to
I'm gonna
present it?
steal his thunder again there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Matt Costa, Cape and Islands Engineering, representing the applicant. We're here tonight for approval of nitrogen aggregation loading plan. The facility property is located at 9 Deans Hollow. It's a existing single-family lot. It has 9,622 square feet of upland area. The lot's located in a Zone 2. We're proposing to transfer credit area to this lot, specifically 22,378 square feet of credit area to the lot. To give us 32,000 square feet.
So this is wrong, too.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Because it has not
They
been
revised
submitted.
this today, my efficient staff did, and sent that in to you, and this was actually signed by Raul. Sorry. I was away all day. I saw some emails bounce back and forth between Glenn and them in my office, and it looks like they took care of things. We're transferring credit area over to the property, 32,000 square feet of credit area. The credit property is coming from the open space and the Childs River,
East.
Childs River, yeah, Residents Association East.
Yep.
Yeah. It's same open space parcel that we used before, which is why I think the deed wasn't included. I don't know if Charlene included that deed with you.
But it was a different area
It's the same.
of the open space.
Yeah, but it's the same exact lot number, same deed.
No, I didn't think it was, because the lot that you were taking it for was down by Miller Farm Road. This is further up in the subdivision.
Yeah, but it's the same open space. It's still lot 65 under the same deed.
Oh, it still has, okay. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it was the same.
No,
bit.
they labeled all the open space on the land court plan as lot 65.
Oh,
Even though
Okay.
it's
okay.
technically
I
separate
did not think
parcels.
that it was the same, because it was a different area of the subdivision.
So that deed is, the
Okay.
deed reference is the same.
Okay.
So, yes, so in this case, we're proposing 4 bedrooms and a Title V septic system. Excuse me, a D-night system, a FAST D-night system. FAST has general approval for 660 gallons per day per acre loading rate. So when we use the FAST and the 32,000 square feet, we get to 4 bedrooms.
32,000 square feet.
For 4 bedrooms, or are you doing 5 bedrooms?
4 bedrooms.
So you're doing a D-night? So you're providing 40,000 square feet, correct? You're doing the 9622 and the 30,378?
Did they submit you revised stuff today?
They
'Cause-
did revise it, but it still didn't make any sense, because the plans that you submitted show the areas.
It was originally, so this is how it evolved. The property is just within 150 feet to a coastal dune, and there's an area on the property we could have located a septic system that would have been more than 150 feet from the coastal dune. So we started out with a Title V septic system. So then we started out with a request to transfer over enough credits to get to 40,000 square feet. But when we redesigned things with the septic system along the back line, it put it within the 150, so we now have the D-night system. So we need less area, credit area, to get to the 4 bedrooms, because the D-night system gives you credit for, instead of 1 bedroom per 10,000 square feet, you get 1 bedroom per 6,666 square feet.
Okay.
You get 550 gallons per acre loading rate instead of 440. Does that make sense? I'm sorry about all the confusion. I was out of the office today.
Your credit area still is showing 30,378
In this case, open and utilize to obtain what, 40,000?
on the plan itself for this portion of Lot 65 for Area J. Area J is what you're calling this one for this property, and it's still at 30,378. That's, if you want to change that, that's fine. It's just that,
I'm sorry.
that's what you're showing for a credit area.
Would you allow me to submit revised plans, approve this pending revised plan?
Yeah, just let me get this straight, though. So you're looking to, you have 9,622 square feet of facility land,
Yes.
and you are looking to provide how much credit area?
Nitrogen,
All you need to do is get to 26,000
revised.
square feet, because once you're,
I need to get to 26,664.
Might be all of that.
26,000 with a D-night will give you enough for 4 bedrooms.
I need to transfer over 17,050 square feet. And to get to the 26,600 and change.
Okay. Okay. Because right now you're doing it by straight Title V, providing the 40,000.
Right.
I didn't know you were doing a D-night. The D-night kind of throws another wrinkle in there.
Yeah, I understand. And we're actually going to be submitting tomorrow the application for
Or,
the D-night to you because we're filing with conservation. Why don't you approve the transfer of the 40? I'll come back and request to amend it with a proper plan.
that's what I was gonna recommend, but I didn't want to kick him into another 2 weeks.
No,
But-
that's fine. It's my fault. Let's approve what's there.
You wanna,
I'll come back to modify it. Actually, would the board grant you permission to adjust that approval with appropriate plans?
well, I think with the nitrogen aggregation, they need to approve the proper areas. That's kind of what I'm getting to right now. And so if we don't know what the areas are gonna be and the plans that aren't revised, I think I'd recommend continuing this
Okay.
until everything is
Yeah.
squared away.
Yes, please. We're going to meet again soon.
Will it be 2 weeks?
We can. Let's,
The
you're go- when you go?
20th
when are you going? Yeah,
or the 27th or the 4th, October 4th.
Because I know exactly how much area we need to transfer.
I'm sorry?
I know how much area we need to transfer. I got to revise the
I can meet in
plan.
2 weeks, can you?
Yeah, sorry.
That might not be bad, actually, because then we can
We got,
do a preliminary discussion prior to the public hearings, which I was gonna set when Mallory comes back.
oh, Thursday night, shoot. I can't.
27th,
Yeah, I can do that.
but not so not next
20th.
week, but the
'Cause-
27th.
Oh, what's next week?
Next week is the 20th.
20th.
I just can't do that night. I can do the 27th.
Would you just allow me to modify my request to transfer 17,000 square feet, and I will file a revised plan with you tomorrow?
That's up to the board.
So we'd just be accepting that with sight unseen of what the actual credit land is.
Yeah, because you just have to be over 26.6, isn't it?
You're going to have to tell
Yes.
me what to
Yeah,
say.
okay.
So we're not continuing.
I mean, the area,
Yeah,
the
no,
credit land has been identified, and that's not going to change. It's just the size,
Right.
the amount.
The size and the description, it's still gonna be called Area J, so it's still, the grants won't have to be changed.
Only thing that's changing is that square footage number.
Right, okay.
That's up to them.
I mean, I think I'm comfortable with you approving that after seeing the maps, and I know you're going to submit proper documentation, so.
I would
yeah,
like you to say
think-
that really slow, what you just said.
I
Because
request.
the numbers are just
I
like,
am requesting, on behalf of the applicant, to transfer 17,050 square feet of credit area from the credit property that was identified in the submittal. I'm going to submit a revised plan showing that credit area tomorrow. Because right now it shows 40, it shows a lot more area.
30,378.
Yes.
And you want 17,050 to give you a total of 26,672.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. And I apologize.
No,
so the whole.
That's fine.
do I have to
The
talk about
D-night is
the-
definitely has to be
do I have to
taken into
talk about all
consideration.
this?
And that's still allowed 660, it's, or, yeah,
General approval.
under general
Okay,
approval.
so all this,
not
and then he wants
550.
to add that, and then he's
Yeah.
going to submit the plan.
550 sand filters.
Okay.
550 is what?
Sand filters. You
Right,
got, you got
right, for the
550
sand-
with
right.
sand filter.
And commercial, but, okay.
One last point with the FAST, just because this is being used in a nitrogen. We're using the nitrogen credit FAST, correct? It's not just the general approval FAST unit, it's the one.
It would have to be
The nitrogen,
the denitrification approval of DEP.
right, which has additional monitoring and everything that goes with
Yeah.
it,
Yeah,
yeah, okay. It's hard to distinguish those sometimes, because if it's not like.
No, it definitely
stated
is.
up front, yeah.
So just reference the DEP approval for the nitrogen reducing fast system.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah,
under
for the
2,000
DEP
gallons
approval.
per day. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's see. So this, I'm still gonna include everything, it's just like the last one, except for we're changing around the credit area, so it's just like the last, proposal, so, okay, you can tell me. I move to approve the nitrogen aggregation plan with the following conditions: that the sketch plans be stamped and signed by a licensed land surveyor. The draft grants of Title V restriction and easement must be finalized and recorded at the Registry of Deeds with an executed stamped copy provided to the Mashpee Board of Health prior to issuance of the septic installation permit and approval of the building permit. The Title V septic design plan must be submitted at a later date for staff level approval prior to issuance of a disposal works construction permit and building permit. And I move to approve the request made by Matt Costa about the transferring of 17,500, what?
17,050.
17,050 square feet from the credit property, not 30,378. The revised plan will be submitted to the Board of Health tomorrow.
Yes.
If you could just state the number of bedrooms that the aggregation plan was approved for.
4, the aggregation.
4 with a D-night system.
The
That's,
aggregation plan was approved for 4 bedrooms with a D-night system. Thank you.
Okay.
That was all changed around.
With the exception of requiring that they're submitted tomorrow.
What?
Well, I don't think we need to necessarily require, he's going to submit them tomorrow, but I don't think we need to include that in the motion.
How do we know?
And the other thing is, D-nights are, so when the plans finally come, because typically we see the D-nights whenever there's on, within the,
Zone 2,
yeah. So that'll come before the board once that's all squared away.
if you
Or-
wanted to.
Or we can just,
I don't always send them to the board, but I
okay.
can if you want.
Nope, that's
We don't
fine.
need-
Staff level approval is fine. Okay. I think that's it.
Good.
it was supposed to be easy.
Oh, that's all right.
That's okay.
See, we gave you a chance to present one, and
Glenn's was better.
next time Glenn's doing it.
I deserve it. I deserve it.
I will second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Matt.
you.
I can get this abuse at home.
Okay, so we're setting our next meeting,
Sorry.
the 27th, now that we've had that discussion. Next one on the 27th,
Okay.
Yeah.
September
I know, right in
27th.
the middle. Well, I was trying to help. All right, next meeting.
27th. Hopefully Mallory will be.
Okay, I will let the town clerk know, because they did have us on for the 20th, so.
Oh, yeah, can we do the
I'll cancel that, and then
27th?
we'll do the 27th.
Thank you.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
took care of a
no,
lot tonight, too.
Not a problem. And I'll do kind of a preliminary setup for the information for the 2 other regulations, or 3 regulations, for the rental properties, the tobacco regulation, and also the septic IA regulation, which we're looking to do something with. So I'll have that all presented by then, and then the board can review it and make a date,
Okay.
which would think would be October 4th, and then we can hit Mallory on her first meeting back.
Excellent.
Or if you wanna separate the public hearings, we can do that too,
Yeah, I think,
because that may be a lot to do, because
One.
both the rental property and the tobacco had pretty good following, and I'm still getting calls on them, so people are definitely following that.
right, yeah, I think doing them on separate nights would be
Me too.
good. Okay.
I have nothing further.
Nothing
Oh,
for,
I'm
oh, you
sorry.
had,
Discussion
Blue
item for the
discussion
flu
of the
clinic.
Yeah.
Should be going now.
October 15th, 9 to 12 at Christ the King Church, and November 8th from 3 to 6 p.m. at Christ the King Church.
What's November?
November 8th
Okay.
is a Thursday, and October 15th is a Monday. So we have our request for volunteers in, which we just usually get a couple from Council on Aging, and then the V&A is all set, and the church is all scheduled, so.
Okay.
And I think at the second one, I'll be doing the emergency preparedness facility setup drill, so that I get credit through, for emergency preparedness.
That will make Lisa happy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Now we have nothing further.
Nothing further? Okay. I notice executive session is off of here, so we have nothing, obviously, with those.
Nope, I spoke with council and nothing has come through to talk about, so.
Okey-dokey. All right. You have anything else tonight?
No,
I don't have anything else tonight.
we can adjourn.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to, oh, sorry.
No,
I second that.
Okay, I'll make one.
I was going to, but you already did it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I was
you.
ready to say it and you said it.